Share buybacks used to be considered stock price manipulation, and the SEC would prosecute you for that prior to 1982. One of the most obviously pernicious cases of using stock share buybacks to goose up a stock price while the underlying business rotted is Boeing. Boeing's very burdensome corporate debt is astonishingly symmetrical to the amount of money they spent on buybacks of Boeing shares. Share buybacks are used by CEOs to make their performance look better than it really is. Often CEO compensation depends on share price rises. In a business like Boeing that has had financial problems over a period of decades, it seems obvious that a share buyback is nothing more than stock price manipulation at the expense of future financial risk for the enterprise. This isn't the only way to erode a company's financial stability. It's perfectly legal to continue to pay a dividend when the only way to fund that is to increase debt. Are there cases where share buybacks are an honest way to put value in shareholders' pockets? Sure, there are cases where companies have a surprise hit product and end up with a giant pile of cash. There might be no sensible way to deploy all of that cash in the form of acquisitions, increased R&D budgets, and so on. But they don't want to disperse it through a dividend because that would create an ongoing expectation of steady dividends that only fits some circumstances. In these cases, a share buyback is an ethical way to turn cash on hand into value expressed in the form of share price. But just because you can do something without it being fraudulent doesn't mean you have to legalize it. Share buybacks could be, and probably should be, limited to a fraction of cash on hand, net of debt. That would at least make it more difficult for a company like Boeing to shovel money into CEO pockets while its product line, factories, and worker compensation suffer, and eventually it ends up in a government-funded bailout.